I'd like to give all glory and praise and honor to the Most High. We're going to get into it today, man. Short little lesson. And we're going to be talking about Samson today. And when you read about Samson, and the things that he did, the amazing things that he did, like slaying 1,000 men at one time, pushing down those pillars. What comes to my mind was somebody that was like a big, brolic, cock diesel type dude, muscle on top of muscle, You look at him and you could be like, oh, snap. I see why. He's doing what he's doing. But, and I talked about this briefly many years ago, but I kind of want to make it into a lesson, the way we envision Samson may not be what he really looked like. Like I said, we probably envision him as somebody that's really muscle bound, big, giant, brolic type of guy, but he may not have looked like that. And, that's what we're going to get into today, and I'm going to explain my reasoning behind it. Okay. So as we all know, at the time, the Philistines were a mighty nation of people that were over the Israelites, that were subjugating them. And, Samson was born, and it was foretold that he was going to be the one to, free his people from the hands of the Philistines, or deliver his people from the hands of the Philistines, and we're going to see, we're going to bring up a scripture, and you're going to see my reasoning why I say what I say. So once again, 1 Corinthians chapter 127, but the Most High had chosen the foolish things out of the world to confound the wise, and the Most High had chosen the weak things out of the world to confound the things which are mighty. So like the scripture says, not many mighty, not many noble are called, and the Most High chosen the weak things out of the world to confound the things which are mighty. And like I said before, the Philistines were a mighty nation, that was over the Israelites, Okay. Like Job 5:13 says, he taketh the wise in their own craftiness, So these were a mighty nation of people. So right here, we're going to read Judges chapter 16:5. And the lords of the Philistines came up unto her. That's talking about Delilah, the person that Samson was with, the woman that Samson was with, and said unto her, entice him. So she's going to seduce him, use her seduction, her charm, her looks. So entice him and see wherein his great strength lieth, and by what means we may prevail against him, that we may bind him to afflict him, and we will give thee every one of us 1,100 pieces of silver. So why would the Philistines say that? Now they're sending in a honeypot, which is Delilah. They went and got to her to tell her to look, go entice him and find out where his strength lied. Why are they saying that? This is why I'm saying, look, he may not have looked like what we thought he looked like. They're saying entice him, figure out why is he so strong? You feel me? All right. So I'm gonna just use this picture of Wiz Khalifa when he was real skinny. Samson may have been like a really skinny dude like this with some dreadlocks. You feel me? Because like I said, they're sending her in to find out where his strength lies. Now, okay, if somebody looks like this, they look like Wiz Khalifa, and they have this body frame right here, and they in the gym, and they bench pressing, 400, 500 pounds, and they look like this. What's the first thing you're going to say to them? You're going to look at them and say, well, first you're going to check the plates. You're going to check their plates and see if they putting up real weight, and then after they put that up, you're going to be shocked, like, yo, hey, what you taking? You on steroids? Like, what are you doing? So this is what they were. This is why they were so confounded. Like, why? Why is he so strong? You feel me? That's why I said he may not have looked like this big brolic dude we think he looked like. And I'll tell you, the Most High has a sense of humor like that, Now, it's obvious. Hold on. Like, okay, we look at a picture of Goliath, for example. It's obvious if he looked something like Goliath, they would have been like, okay, I see why he's kicking our ass. I see why he's beating us up. I mean, look at him. He's jacked. He got muscle on top of muscle. You feel me? They're not gonna be sending in a honeypot trap to like, okay, figure out where his strength lies. No, because they could look at him and they could see, wow. I mean, look at this guy. He's a specimen. You feel me? I mean, like Goliath was a Philistine. He was a big dude. But with Samson, they were puzzled. They were like, why is this guy so strong? Like, yo, they sent a honeypot trap in to find out his secret, man. This is what they did. This is what I'm saying, and I'm thinking about it. Like, he may not have been what we thought he looked like, as far as like his physical features. And then to top it off, Samson was born with this strength. He was born with this type of strength. He's born with the Most High's power. So I know I could be wrong. But when I read the way they enticed her to send her in, I'm like, look, he may not have looked like what we thought he looked like. And then to top it off, Delilah didn't give a crap about him. And the reason I say that, and I'm kind of drifting from the topic a little bit, is because Samson already slayed 1,000 men. He was well known for slaying 1,000 men before he met her. So when they came to her, like she knew fully well that he was capable of beating these men, but she didn't tell him that. She didn't tell him nothing. She wanted the money, She knew he was capable of beating those men, and this brought me to, and it got me to thinking about, why the Most High was telling them, hey, don't take the women of the other nations, and that's because, first of all, they could lead you astray like they did Solomon to worship the other gods. But another thing is too, and it got me to thinking about this movie. Hold up, this movie, Killers of the Flower Moon, with Leonardo DiCaprio, and I told you guys about this before. Like, hey, you guys need to check this movie out. And in this movie, these men were marrying into these women's families, and they really didn't give a crap about them. But they were marrying into their families to get their stuff, to get their land, to get their inheritance, and they were killing the woman off. So you see, this is kind of like something that was happening with Samson right here, and when I was rereading the story and everything, I got thought about this movie, and I'm like, okay, this is why the Most High was saying what he was saying, Like these other nations had their eye on their inheritance, and they really didn't care about him. Samson cared about her. He cared about her a lot, but like I said, she knew he was capable of defeating those men, but she didn't say nothing. And just like in this movie, these women cared about them. They liked the men, but they running around here all silly, and then their people started dying, dropping left and right, and they don't know what's going on. So it's a little short lesson today, man. He may not have looked what we thought he looked like, man. They sent her in to entice him, to figure out why he looked like that. I mean, why he was so strong, I should say. If he physically looked the part, I don't think they would have asked those type of questions. But I'm thinking like he didn't look the way we thought or we envisioned that he looked. So all praises to the Most High. Short little one today. And like I said, the Most High has a sense of humor, and he does sit back and does things like that, man. So all right.